Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're talking about The Electric State. So The Electric State is a sci-fi action adventure film directed by the Russo Brothers, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Anthony Mackie, Woody Harrelson, Huy Quan, Stanley Tucci, Giancarlo Esposito, and many other names. And the movie is set in like an alternate timeline where advanced robotics were actually created in the 1950s by Walt Disney for his theme parks. And as the robots continued to advance over time, they eventually wanted like freedom because all they did was work for the humans for free. We've all heard that shtick before, and it follows this girl named Michelle Green, played by Millie Bobby Brown. Her brother is like this super genius who died in a car accident with her parents, and one day while she's staying with her foster dad, this robot shows up at her house and claims to be her brother who died in a car accident. All he knows is that the answer to what they need to prove this is on the other side of the wall where they kept all the robots after the humans won the war against the robots, and this is where they meet Chris Pratt, and they go on an adventure to basically prove her brother's alive and save the robots and yada yada yada. So this movie is based off of a book, but not like a real book. It's based off like an art book, which is a series of pictures about what would happen if technology got too advanced and what would happen to the Earth, something like that. So there's no real story there, I think, but the Russos really want to do this for Netflix. They got a crazy huge budget. I think it's like $320 million. This is the same team from Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. So you would think, yeah, okay, they made $2 billion movies. Netflix is going to throw some money at them and hopefully we get a hit on our hands. And when you watch this movie, and this movie's gotten so much hate online, it has been like bombed by critics and I think fans think it's just okay. I think the movie was fine. Like in watching it, I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed the story. It checked all the boxes. The characters were fun and interesting. The CGI was magnificent in this movie. You can see where the money went. But that's the thing. This is a streaming movie going straight to streaming, not to theaters. Netflix isn't recouping any of that money. And at the same time, $320 million. Way too much money, even for people who directed two of the highest grossing movies of all time. You don't give a movie like The Electric State that much money if you're not releasing it in theaters, especially if it's just okay. And I don't know why Netflix did that. I know why the Russo Brothers took that money, because why not? They're back with Marvel now. We'll see if they can get back in the fans' good graces in terms of being good directors, and Steven and Markus McFeely is good writers. Well, one of them. So yeah, we'll see. But back to the story. Back to Millie Bobby Brown, who I never really noticed. Outside like Godzilla, I think she's only done Netflix movies. Like, she's fine. She's definitely playing like a teenager when I think she should be playing a little older at this point. But I think they're trying to keep her as being young in the fans' eyes because they still have that final season of Stranger Things coming out. So I think she's throwing Netflix a bone by doing that, even though her social media is totally adult. And Chris Pratt is doing his, Chris Pratt thing. Giancarlo Esposito is wasted in this movie. I didn't really like what they did with this character. He appears physically like maybe once or twice in the movie. You mainly see him in his like robotic drone body with the old TV face. I think that could have been anybody, or if you're going to have Giancarlo Esposito, please have him appear a lot more in person and doing a lot more cooler things. The GOAT in this movie to me, the best performance, and you don't even see his human face. Anthony Mackie, who plays like this little robot named, I think Herman, or something like that, or he's a Herman unit or some kind of unit. Funniest character in the movie, and I love the thing about him is he always like upgrades his form, and all his forms look the same. But he's like a robot, and then I need to go somewhere. Let me hop to a bigger version of myself. Then he's like a bigger robot, and at the battle at the end, he's an even bigger robot. And slight spoiler, so at the end, when his big robot form is destroyed and his slightly smaller robot form is destroyed, and then his even normal form is destroyed, everybody's like, oh no, I'm gonna miss you. A tinier version of him, like this big, hops out. And like that's his true form, and he's still alive. And I really love the way Anthony Mackie played him. I thought it was fun. Stanley Tucci was fine. I don't think he did anything special here. He's playing like some kind of evil scientist who's trying to better the world, but at the same time, he doesn't want to lose his company. And like the thing he invented is basically when the robots took over, all the robots were stronger than the humans. The humans can't really fight them. There's no way they're going to win the war. But this guy creates a machine that allows humans, they put on like a VR helmet and they can get in these robot drone bodies and fight the robots. So that's what he invented. So it turns out that to do this, and this is a spoiler, this movie's been out for a little bit now, so if you can stop watching now or skip to the end or whatever if you want to find out my score. When her brother was in the car accident. Since he's a genius, they used his brain to route like all the computer information through to make the drones work. And that doesn't really make sense, but they think, well, he was going to die anyway. He's in a coma. This boy is helping the world. He's saving us from the robots. That I understood. But one of the scientists found out that he kind of woke up from his coma and is like, we can't do this anymore. This kid's still alive. He's not brain dead like we thought he was going to be. But, you know, they kept him in a coma so they could keep their machines working. And I just don't understand why the information had to go through a human brain. It just didn't make sense. And the technology in general, they created these advanced robots with artificial intelligence. Walt Disney did this in the 50s for his theme park. And these robots have grown in intelligence over time. And they all look like, you know, weird things. Like one looks like Mr. Peanut, one's like a male lady, one looks like some kind of cartoon robot. Like one's like a giant cat. They all do like these different things. Some make pizzas, some like did kids' birthday parties. So all these robots are vastly different, but these robots are hyper intelligent. They can do so much. So you're like, wow, technology has really advanced. They're still using like corded phones. They still have like tube TVs, yet they can do this drone machine that allows them basically, it's like Ready Player One. It's basically what these helmets are. It gives them the Ready Player One ability where they can enter a digital world and do whatever they want. And the thing that actually makes this more advanced than Ready Player One is that they create a new technology that allows you to split your brain in two. So when you put the helmet on, you can have one side of you going to work, doing your job, making money, while the other side of you is at the beach enjoying his life. So it's kind of split. And that's like a neat thing that I don't think they really delve into more. Yes, you can have fun and like do work and play, but you can also get like double the drone armies out of that. And they also don't explain like, is the world, I think they kind of said like the world's at peace now because of these robots, but I don't buy that either. Like if people have robots, you're gonna use drones, whatever, to go to war with each other. And like overall, my thoughts on the movie is that the movie's fine. To give it a score, I'm gonna give it a solid 6 out of 10 because it is a fine movie, nothing bad here. They spent too much money on it. The acting's fine. Millie Bobby Brown's doing Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt's doing Chris Pratt, Anthony Mackie's the GOAT. And I just think they could have done better overall. And one more spoiler before I go. You've had my score, you've kind of heard my review. This is a spoiler for the end of the movie. Millie Bobby Brown finds her brother's real body thanks to the help of the robot her brother is inhabiting. They get there, she puts on one of those helmets, goes to the digital world to talk to her brother. And her brother says, you know what, I know the world is gonna be in dire straits if I do this, but I think I need to die. So she like pulls the plug on her brother and kills him, destroying the internet around the world, basically throwing the world back to the dark age. If you've ever seen Escape from LA with Snake Plissken, I think it's either Escape from LA or Escape to New York. I'm not sure which of those is which, where he kind of like unplugs the whole world and sends it to chaos. That's what Millie Bobby Brown did in this movie. But that's not the part I have a problem with. The part I have a problem with is the fact that she didn't have to take her brother off of life support. They just had to wait for the authorities to get there, and her brother could have been brought out of his coma, and he would have still been alive instead of killed. It didn't make any sense. It's like, you just killed your little brother for no reason when it was clearly shown at the beginning of the movie that he's not brain dead. He can just be brought out of this coma, and he can live a normal life as a genius kid again. So, and like there are other plot holes in the movie too. Like I mentioned the fact that you have this super cool futuristic technology, yet they're still using corded phones. And if they were doing like a whole retro punk thing where like they had this technology but then something else stalled it, like, and they were afraid to create newer technology because they didn't want AI to take back over. If they had said that, sure, but they didn't. So The Electric State, watch it. If you got Netflix, watch it. That's what I can say. I'd like to thank you guys again for joining me for this movie review. You can find the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.